Done. Mute. Done. You've all got the playlist. As always, I know there's some new people here today. If you have any questions, type it in the chat box. There's a little chat box down the bottom. I see a little orange thing pop up, and I have a look at that every now and again. Let's put it on me, and let's do some Yin Yoga now. Let's start an easy pose, which is this. Bring your right shin in front of your left. I forgot I've got to, I kind of blend in when I'm wearing dark pants. So right shin in front of left. Bring your feet towards the opposite knee. You can't see me very clearly in this outfit. I do tend to blend in. If you're very flexible, you could stack your right shin on top of your left. It's called fire logs. So think of two logs of a fire stacked on top of one another. You can use props, cushions, books, cartons of almond milk as your props. And we'll start seated, and always remember that the base of a seated pose is from the pelvis. So start to encourage the pelvis to upright rather than having it spill back. You can use your fingertips onto the floor behind you to press down to lengthen up. And now we're going to close the eyes and move into the inward realm, the place of thought, the place of sensation, the place where we feel. So I touched yesterday on the different experiences that we have of being in our human body and the different ways we perceive the world. Some people, it's very much from a place of intellect and they think, and meditation can be an incredible tonic for an overactive mind. So as we place our body in this shape, you could begin to observe the thoughts as they move across your mind. Some people experience the world and their body from a place of feeling, physical sensations. In this case, you would close the eyes and you would feel the sensations in the hips, in the butt. You may even feel something into the lower back. Some people feel the world and perceive and experience the world from a place of emotion. And as you get quiet, you may notice what's there. You may feel calm to be here at yoga, excited for the little bit of extra freedom of next week, frustrated even. And you can start to fold forward when you're ready. As you fold forward, you want to keep the lower back as flat as possible rather than having it bulge, so that we can draw the stretch down into the butt. So you'll start to come forward, if you start to come forward, and you'll start to feel the place where the body resists. It just feels a bit sticky, like you can't go any further. And then you pause there and begin to relax. So we have a threshold, which is that place that we go, and there's, at this point in time, not a lot more scope for movement. So there's a physical threshold where the body is unable to go any deeper into the pose. But there's also the threshold of what we can experience inside of us. So we don't want to place our minds under too much stress by forcing an intensity that is stressing us out. Okay, so think of it as the stress on the body, a little bit of healthy stress on the body, but also the stress on the mind. You don't want to blow out the nervous system either. So finding that balance between stressing, placing ourselves under healthy stress without stressing our bodies out. Okay, I'm going to stop talking in a minute. I'm obviously very talkative today. If you come quite far forward, you might want to place something to support the weight of the head. And whichever experience speaks to you the most, physical feeling, emotional experience, or intellect, just observe it. Okay, so we're about halfway, a little over halfway the duration of this first pose. Notice if you're holding back, holding on, resisting. Just notice. So that just comes from this unconscious or subconscious holding and resisting and tension. Notice it, and then you can let it go, and you may notice that you go deeper. And I repeat again, going deeper may not be a physical movement. It may be going deeper into the emotions that you're experiencing, the overactive mind, intellect that you're experiencing. Go deeper to where you are being called to notice self with a capital S. About 2/3 of the way through. Now, using your arms to help you come up, you're going to push down to come up and out of the stretch. Lean back to release the legs. There's two ways to do this. Some people will like to move and jiggle and stretch. And some of you may like to come. I learnt this one off TJ, the teacher trainer, this neutral pose that I've been bringing into all our Yin classes. You may like to just come. We're going to spend less than a minute either jiggling and wriggling or being still on the back. Just to feel the release, the prana flow, life force moving through you. Okay. And we're going to come, if you're already up, you're going to bring your left leg in front. If you're down, you're going to come up. Going into the other side, left shin in front, or maybe on top. Try not to be too determined to stack, but if you do, you may need to support this knee, but in front is just as good. We're going to spend a little bit of time seated, working the pelvis to upright. Close your eyes. And be curious, pay attention to the calling. of either your emotions, your intellect, or your physical body to be heard, to be listened to. So the way we can view that which we observe in yoga would be the way we may view our children, our best friend, our partner, that just want to be heard, even if they say something that we don't agree with, even if they want to have a moan. Well, the body speaks to us in the same way. Keep the low back long, so the back will be flat in this, and some of you might feel a stretch in the lower back. If you feel a stretch in the lower back whilst sitting upright, I would highly recommend that you stay sitting upright, otherwise you're just going to overstretch that, okay? Otherwise you can start to come forward. The further forward you come, the more your neck might need some support. The neck, although it can feel nice to have the head hang forward, a lot of people really enjoy that. If you have a forward jut of the neck anyway, and a lot of people do, then that can just put more pressure on it. Okay, and that's why I like to support my head on blocks, because the head's bloody heavy. Remember that. Ooh. Another thing you can do in this pose, if you're starting to come forward, is every now and again to send the butt back and the front body forward. Inviting that sense of heaviness, using gravity as your assistant. It will pull you into the pose. All you have to do is relax. Particularly if you have a busy mind, a focused, what's the word I'm trying to find? Concentrated attention to your breath can help the mind. If you have a busy mind, if you have intellect is a way that you experience the world, it can be very exhausting. It's like running a marathon every single day and not taking a break. So follow the breath, and there'll be a little bit of concentration required to maintain that focus. It can just do your mind the world of good. If you find it hard to stay still in the pose as it becomes intense, again, focusing on the breath can really help you to stay still and allow the body to transform. So we're about halfway through this pose. Okie dokie. That was a bit of a marathon. Using your arms to help you come up. Release, and it sometimes feels like your body's a little bit stuck. So that's okay. You may like to just wriggle and jiggle and move, or you may like to lay down, be flat, and just feel the two sides of the body and the release and all that energy liberated around the legs. We'll take less than a minute here, about 30 seconds. If you're laying down, ooh, take a nice big stretch. Roll over. Come up and let's do the quads. So if you're tight, I just flip my mat around a little bit so that I always line it up with the floorboards, but that's not necessary. Okay, so if you've got a bolster, use one. You can make an at-home bolster with your yoga mat and then wrap a blanket around it and you can just lay on the floor. You can use pillows, you just kind of roll them up. Okay, and then you're going to take your right foot behind you, your left leg in front of you. You can have a bit of space between your bolster and your sacrum. If you're very flexible, you can go right up beside it. Now, you don't necessarily need props here. You could always just stay upright. We would encourage the top of the foot to be on the floor. Some people like to have the foot open like this. Just know, I'm just going to adjust that so you can see me. That's a bit better. Just know that if your foot is out like this, you're putting pressure on the knee. So the knee is designed to, to go like this, not to go side to side. So you put the foot out, you're putting a bit of pressure on the knee. Now, a little bit of stress on the knee joint is actually fine, but just be more mindful. So the foot, that's probably a little bit better. You can roll your calf out of the way. If you don't have a prop to lay back on, just lean back on your hands and chill out here until you start to feel the stretch down the inner thigh. You might feel a little bit in the inner knee. You might feel it in the shins, runners. Often you get really tight shins. I know I used to run. That can be a nice stretch for the shins and ankle. Okay, and if you have something, you may lay back. For my super flexible friends, you may not need a bolster at all. Okay. Now, at any time throughout the duration of this pose, you can bring the left foot, the other foot to the floor, and that's going to deepen the stretch in the quad. It can also take away any pressure on the low back. And breathe. Remember, if you're unsure, type it in the chat box. I can help you in that way. Be mindful of how you feel in the lower back. Adjust the tailbone forward. Lovely. I love this one. So a concentrated focus on the breath can help you stay still when you feel like fidgeting. It can also give your nervous system a bit of a soothing tonic from a busy mind. Yes, Angela, get the corner of a cushion. I'm going to show you. If this is too much for your foot, get a cushion. Take the corner of the cushion right under the ankle, and that should help that. Okay, so if anyone feels this is too much for their foot, it's hard to see, you just put the corner of the cushion right underneath the foot And that will give that a little bit of support.
Perfect. Good stuff. Thanks, Angela. Stay upright, Helma. Yeah, I would just stay upright. Yeah. And but you still feel a stretch in your thigh, Helma? A little bit? Okay.
You could try this, Helma. Stay upright, but you may be able to bring the foot to the floor, and that will deepen the stretch here and stop you going back. So there's always this option as well, seated. Yeah, cool. And then lay back and enjoy a ride. A few more moments here, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. So relax, go heavy. Let gravity be your friend. Okay, so if you're reclining, one of the best ways to come out is to roll away from the foot which is behind you, and that will just free that leg as you come up. Straighten it. Ooh, that feels good. You may like to kind of fold forward. You could always come back and just lay, or you may want to move your body. Just release. All right. Moving into the other side. So taking the other leg behind you. Okay. We have quite a lot of preparation for each yin pose to support the body so that we can relax fully. I say this almost every time. The key is for us to be really passive, really heavy. And so if that's too painful, then we're crossing the threshold of what is good for us. So support, support, support. So check in with your ankle, make sure that it's happy. As you recline, you don't want that to compress the lower back. You're welcome to sit up. So I had a question before of someone that didn't want to recline, but they didn't feel tons in their legs. So there's this option of staying seated. That probably involves a bit of flexibility. Okay, and then as you start to recline, remember to move the tailbone forward as you lay back on your support. One thing I do at the studio that a lot of you know about is I prop up what you're laying on. So again, just get creative with what you've got at home, cushions and things like that. I mean, I'm noticing all this stuff on social media of how to make at-home props. It's fairly kind of intuitive, I imagine. Just grab stuff from around the house and just prop up so that you're not so, so that it's not so intense. Lay back. Enjoy the ride. Type in the chat box if you need me. I'll be here chilling out, just stretching my quads. I don't know if you guys can hear, but our neighbor is playing some trumpet tribute to Anzac Day. That sounds quite cool. Knee can't do this. Yeah, that's, yeah. Sit on something, Lisa. So that's very typical. I forgot to mention. If your knee is not happy, get a cushion or a pillow and put it under your butt. And that's going to take the pressure off the knee. Can you guys hear my neighbors? Sounds cool. Is that better, Lisa? A little bit? Yeah. Okay, a few more moments here, team. Just get heavy, get passive, get relaxed. And if that hurts your body, to release the holding back, support yourself with props. A few more moments. Alrighty. To come out, roll away from the foot which is behind you. I did the same foot both sides. Weird. Okay, and either just jiggle out the legs. You might like to fold forward or lay back. Okay, let's do a forward fold. So bring your legs out straight. The best way to discover whether folding forward is good for you is to sit upright. Okay, so my body is at an L-shaped right angle. If you're already feeling the stretch in the lower back, I would consider staying upright. We're going to come into this pose. So it's not just the hamstrings that can stretch all of the back of the body. It's just that most of us are the tightest in their hamstrings. I remember when I first started doing yoga and forward folds, I was so open in my hamstrings that I felt these poses all in my back, and that's fine. Just know where it's getting the body. Okay, so sit up tall, and if you're already feeling a stretch in the hamstrings, this might be the best place to stay, because if you fold forward, you might just stretch the back and the hamstrings are going to not get the stretch. Okay, so notice where you're feeling the stretch in the back of the body. Sometimes I like to take something around my foot and hold on to that, and that naturally flexes my feet and gets the stretch nice and deep into the calves, supporting the head as well, coming into this forward fold. Pretty self-explanatory one. Chilling out. Sometimes as the body opens, we're going to spend a few more moments here. Sometimes as the body opens, it's certainly happened to me, the pelvis begins to roll back and the tailbone begins to tuck under. So for these final moments, you might need to come up a little bit, wiggle the butt back, lengthen the front body forward, take a breath in, and then relax in for these final moments of this forward fold. And then lift the head first. Bring your hands down, use your arms to bring the body out. And just, man, feel that one. Just come to sitting. And we'll just take neutral pose seated for a moment. Oh, just observe the body. Observe the breath. Observe whether you are in a place of intellect, emotional experience, or physical experience. Okay, let's do our neck. So sit up nice and tall, inhale, shoulders down. You can have your hands on your knees or beside you, can be nice to sort of anchor those shoulders down. And then exhale, take your right ear to your right shoulder and just let the weight of the head take the neck into the stretch. So you can press the pads of the fingers down into the floor and that can help draw the shoulders down to lengthen the left side of the neck. And you can rock the head back and forth a little bit just to move the stretch into the front and back of the neck. The best way is to just let the head be still and heavy, but as you rock back and forth, you might find your sweet spot. And when you find it, just pause there. Keep both shoulders down, so not only are we drawing the left shoulder down, but draw your right shoulder down as well. If you want a little bit more, you can start to walk the left fingertips off to the left. Stay relaxed. If you still want a little bit more, bring the right arm up. Take the fingers by the left ear. Lengthen rather than push down, and then just let the weight of the arm, so you're not pushing, you're just letting the weight of the arm increase the stretch. And now if you've got your hand on your head, spin the fingers to the base of the skull, behind the head, and spin the gaze to the right armpit. If you don't have your hand, just turn the gaze to the right shoulder. Breathe deeply. And then lift your head up. I like to use my hand And come to sitting and feel like, actually, why don't we roll the shoulders a few times? Sometimes they get a little bit stuck up by the ears. Roll the shoulders. And then turn your gaze all the way over the right shoulder. You'll feel that sticky place, and then twist a little bit more. And then turn the gaze all the way to the left. Feel the sticky point and go a little bit further. And then come back to center, take a deep breath in. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. Let me get a glass of water. I'll wait this way. Remember that when you press the pads of the fingers into the floor, that can increase the downward motion of the shoulders. You might want to rock the head back and forth to find your sweet spot. And again, if you want to bring the, first of all, you can walk the right fingertips off to the right. You can bring the left arm up, lengthen, just let the weight of the arm, there's no pushing or forcing, just the weight of the arm. And then if you want to spin the gaze to the right armpit and the fingers to the base of the skull, or if you don't have your hand on your head, just turn your gaze to your right shoulder. Okay, and lift your head up. Roll the shoulders. Lovely. And then I like to take my head all the way back. That's not going to feel good for everyone. Give it a go. And keeping the chest lifted, bring your chin down to your chest. That one doesn't feel so good for me, so I'm not going to do that one. And then bring the head up and feel it floating in perfect alignment on the neck. Okay, we're running out of time. I'm thinking, what should we finish with? Let's do Baddha Konasana. So come to sit with your feet in front of you, feet together. This one is a great one for the pelvis to roll back. If that's the case, elevate your hips. Block's a bit much for me. Sometimes just folding up your mat a few times can elevate the hips. Feet in front of you. Now, if this feels uncomfortable behind the knees, grab your at-home props, place them under the thighs, and come forward. It can be nice to get a pillow or something. And lean onto that. Lots of support. Yin is about support. Okay, slowly going to come up. We don't have as much time for that one because I love to finish with a twist. So come up, straighten out your legs, lay down, hug your knees into your chest. Yum, yummy. Take the knees to the right for your twist. Take the knees to the left. Come to rest on your back. Shavasana. Start to wake up. Roll over. Make your way to sitting. Thank you. Somebody just left, but thank you. Okay, come to sitting. Always nice to finish class, you know, with this reminder of how sacred life is and how sacred we are and how sacred our bodies are. We sometimes forget we don't always treat our bodies very well. I'm certainly not precious about mine, but this time that we take to practice yoga is just such an acknowledgement of how important we are and how important this relationship that we have with ourselves is, to take time to feel, to experience, whether it's physical, intellect, emotional. So close your eyes and just sit in a place of gratitude for your body, of gratitude for your intelligence, of gratitude for your emotions, because they tell you whether to go towards something or away from something. Everything that we experience is valid and worthy. Gratitude for your friends, your family, the people that you share your bubble with, if anyone. Gratitude for your solitude sometimes as a time to reflect. Bring your palms together at your heart center in acknowledgement of the oneness that we share. Within every one is a place that we are connected, and sometimes we feel it. It's a resonance that we feel when we connect with another. When we don't feel that resonance, it's a message to navigate away. So feel the connection with everyone sharing this class today, live. Feel the connection with the ones that will practice later on today. Gratitude for the day ahead. From my heart to yours, I bow. Namaste.
Thank you, Denise.
Everyone,
Have a good day.
enjoy your day.
The neighbour was playing a trumpet, an Anzac Day trumpet. I don't know if you could hear it.
Yes, I could.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we could.
It sounded pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Right. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Olga. Thanks, Tammy. Have a beautiful day. The sky is blue. Sun shining. Thanks, Roger and Gabrielle.
Thanks.
Thanks, Denise.
Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Jeannie. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Jane.
Bye for now.
Hey, Mark. Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty good.
been a while.
Not too stiff there?
Yeah,
Well, I guess you're in the right place, aren't you?
that was good. Yeah. I'll give you a buzz during the week, and we'll keep chatting.
Sounds
Always
good.
loved it.
Good.
Thank you. I'll keep going.
Sounds good. Thanks, Helma.
Thank you. Lovely.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for
I'll be
coming. Such a treat to see you.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you, Kulan.
Thank you very much. Just to add to that, what I heard, the bugle. It's called Last Post.
Ah,
And you have a special neighbor. He's very special because not every soldier could do that.
really?
So there are a few people who are called buglers. They will do this last post. So you have a wonderful person as neighbor.
I thought it was pretty cool. I would have loved to have gone out and really listened, but I'm glad you guys could hear it because it did sound pretty special.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously a beautiful thing to do today. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I will join you next week. I'll try to catch up with you during midweek as well, possibly. I'll try.
See, but I know I'll see you at some point.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kulan.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.